Okay, Duane, there's a question here by one of the friends. He says, what does a new student really have to do to become totally aware? Um, to become totally aware of the true reality life is. What does the new student really have to do? Because I think most or every new student will want to be totally aware. So, what is it that the new student is not doing? Or what has it more to do to be totally aware? Duane?
All right. Yeah. Well, what I do for myself, there is, again, we have the personal life and there is your real awareness. And so the idea of total awareness, in other words, the idea is to be totally aware of what life is. All right, it's not just an idea that where, okay, you want this total awareness state, or the old idea was God realization. Okay, so that's all old stuff and it's just old ideas. No, it doesn't work. To be totally aware of what life is, which is huge in lifetimes, earth-wise, it could take that and a lot more, etc. The real guides have been around a long time. But for myself, to see it is to see more than creation itself, and to recognize this reality, okay, for what it is, not what we think it is. So this becomes a really big challenge to recognize, because again, we've been raised in a literal sense. And so people are always, most people are thinking or trying to decide or create ideas that supposedly life is. Well, that isn't it. So the challenge is to recognize now, this is what really the new presentation is. It is not a literal science. What Paul brought out was the ancient science of soul travel. It was about movement, travel, getting from here to there. That was the start of things. But now it is to recognize this reality, because this is the new nowness. This is what I've recognized to bring forth, as opposed to what was here. I was shown this to present the is, or the isness. And this is the next big step. It's a bigger step. And it's a lot bigger step. And you have to be real with yourself. It's not something overnight. I don't put any time limit on it. I don't say, well, this is it or that's it. No, because it's endless. How can you say at what point that you have total awareness? See, that's an old idea too. I don't use that term anymore, because that is also self-limiting. What we're looking at here, Charles, and what most people have come to know, and through the systems of religion, politics, and whatever, spiritual paths, and all these things we've come to know, we've heard a lot of promises. And it's easy to make promises, isn't it? It's like, oh, the future will be bright, everything will be better, or, this is a hard life, but when you die from here, you'll go to a heaven and all things will be taken care of. I mean, we've been given, we've come to know all these promises from those who mainly control us. Well, my position here is I look at this and I don't do that. I don't make promises that are unrealistic, because it's up to each individual to discover what they're to do. So again, it's like becoming a doctor, and you can take this question, let's say the new student is a person just first day attending medical school, and he asks the instructor, sir, how is it that I become a doctor? Well, what is the instructor going to say? He's going to say, well, you have to study, you have to go to school, you have to do the lessons, and eventually you got to really figure it out. It comes to a point where, you know, even what you're doing as a doctor, the answer is not in the medical journal. The answer is not even in what you've been trained for and what you've learned. You got to figure it out from there, and this is where we are. We've went through the process, all of us, to this point, to where now to have what the old references are, like total awareness or whatever, well, that doesn't apply to the isness because it's endless. Total awareness or God realization are absolutes. In other words, they're an idea that people look to, thinking that, oh, just because I'm living my life according to this idea, that it's all going to come out okay. Well, that's not how life is. So it's actually something else than what we've known. This reality is always something else because it is of itself. So this becomes the difficult part, because in creation, all we can do is create references to it. And this is where I've been honest and honorable and saying, hey, I'm just creating references. I'm not creating wisdom. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not the master. I'm not the leader. I'm not this or that. What I am is showing people the process to go through, and you have to study. And this is something within yourself. You have to figure it out in your awareness, not your mind, what this reality is, first of all, and then eventually recognize it, and then from there be able to see what it is and be according to it. And that's a whole lot, Charles, and it is aside from the physical, but from that you take what you can into the physical and see how it works accordingly. So, it's just like your car. You can only get so many people into the car. You can't get everybody in there, so it's not going to be a ride for everybody. So you can only do so much with your personal self. You can only take so much in to understand, to figure this thing out. But the reality of it can only be seen one person at a time and how they decide to see it. But it's a lot of study. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of figuring out. There is no answer. See, again, we're looking for literal answers because we've come up through all these promises from authorities in the past. They've promised us this. And even Paul, he started off in the beginning. It's like you can be free this lifetime or the next, etc. But really that depends upon the individual. Nobody can pull you there. Nobody can make you recognize the real universe, as each person has to do it and for themselves. And that's why looking at the corporation in comparison, that's why there's so many people in the corporation and religions and whatever, because they don't take the time to recognize what is real now. That becomes the difference. And so for those people that have stepped up, including myself, to take on this challenge, well, who can say what it is realistically? All we can do is best refer to whatever we do, and with whatever understanding we have at this moment, that's the best we can do, because it is endless. It's an endless isness, and this is the best part. But to relate that to the world, it seems like a lot of hocus pocus. It seems like just a lot of magic, or etc. That okay, this is just all make believe stuff. Well, we can't see the air we breathe, but it's there. It's supporting us. But we sure as heck would know if it's not there, because we wouldn't be breathing, would we, for very long? So it's like that. It is there, but what can you do with it? So we have this breathable air, but we have our personal life too. So what do? So how does the breathable air help us with our personal life? Well, the breathable air supports us, but it can't do what we can do with the physical body. It can't move the arms and make you eat. It can't move the arms and body and get you out of bed and go to work, etc. That's the awareness part, moving the bodies. That has nothing to do with the air. So the reality that life is, to recognize that's huge. That's huge to do that. This is the next big step, but this is what it is now. And it's confusing for people, very confusing, because of what we've come to know, how we've been indoctrinated, how we use our mind, etc. And so you have to decide to see something other than that. And the new you starts it off, the real side experiences, that is something too, but that's not it. There's more than the real side experiences, but we need to go through experiences so we have something to relate to. And so in the meantime, it's a huge process, Charles, and it's not overnight. So yeah, a lot to do, and each person decides that for themselves. Go ahead.
Thank you, Duane. Oh, les amis. Hello? Hello,
Oui,
Congo? OK. Ces réponses, je te dis que ça me bouleverse. C'est très capital. Je veux condenser très vite pour ne pas oublier. Bon, il a dit quoi?
Envoyez.
Bon, il a dit que bon, quand cette question comment devenir totalement conscient, c'est on veut comprendre ça en termes littéraires, avec le mental, qui n'est pas possible. Parce que cette réalité, ce qu'il la vraie conscience de la vie est sans limite. On ne sait pas là où ça commence et là où ça finit. Ça ne finit jamais. Et à chaque moment, ça devient autre chose. Ça devient autre chose. Comme c'est toujours nouvelle. Et que, bon, quelqu'un ne peut dire exactement ce qu'il sait. Donc, on ne peut pas parler d'avoir une conscience totale de la vraie réalité de la vie. Et que lui-même, ce qu'il présente dans ses livres, et les discours, ce n'est que des références. Et il a souligné que c'est les références imparfaites. Et que la vraie chose est dans la conscience réelle de chaque individu. Et c'est chaque individu qui doit figurer ce qui c'est, la vie. Et il a dit que bon, si tu veux devenir docteur et tu es à l'école, tu demandes à tes professeurs comment faire pour devenir docteur. Il va sûrement rire, il va dire que bon, tu vas étudier, tu vas faire quoi, il faut lire tes livres, il faut faire les devoirs, il faut ceci, cela, il faut expérimenter les choses. Et même là, le docteur, peut-être il est chirurgien ou il est une générale, GP et tout ça. On ne peut pas, même les docteurs, il n'y a pas un seul docteur qui peut maîtriser toutes les autres branches de la médecine. Il n'y a aucun. Et donc, quand on parle de la conscience totale, c'est vraiment quelque chose dans la création. Et il dit que bon, les gourous, les maîtres, les religionnistes, les spiritualistes te donnent des promesses Oh, tu vas atteindre la conscience totale, tu vas te réunir avec Dieu et tout ça. Et que tout ça, c'est les promesses qui dissuadent les gens. Et que cette conscience totale, c'est quoi? Ça commence où et ça s'arrête où? On ne peut définir. Personne ne peut pointer exactement ce qui c'est. Donc, tout ce qui est là, il faut se rappeler que c'est pas quelque chose, c'est quelque chose au-delà de la création et qu'on utilise notre vraie conscience, notre vraie conscience pour comprendre un peu. Et que même les guides ont fait beaucoup de milliers des années dans la vie pour expérimenter la création et d'autres choses pour atteindre ce niveau. Et jusque-là, il y a toujours un autre niveau à franchir. Donc, atteindre la conscience totale, comme Etio voulait savoir qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire, même si tu fais, même si tu te donnes des promesses, il te donne les consignes, tu ne peux même pas atteindre ça. Et ce qu'il va te donner, ce n'est que des références à t'aider pour te connecter avec ce qu'on ne peut pas imaginer. Ce qu'on ne peut pas imaginer. Donc, cette question de la conscience totale, c'est comme la réalisation de Dieu que Kanka et d'autres voix spirituelles parlent. Donc, avec la présentation, nous, on ne parle même pas d'avoir cette conscience totale. Totale. C'est déjà une limite. Tu t'es déjà limité. Pas dit que tu vas atteindre la conscience totale. Quelque chose n'a pas de limite. Comment tu veux atteindre la limite? La limite. C'est impossible, n'est-ce pas? Donc,
Charles,
oui.
par rapport, je voulais peut-être épingler quelque chose ou rajouter quelque chose. Dans le sens que souvent, quand on parle de la conscience totale ici, peut-être ils sont allés plus vite en besogne. Il y a des fois, quand on suit Duane, il nous parle de ses expériences avec Iter, comment ils venaient pour le prendre, ils avaient un île où ils se rencontraient. Peut-être dans ce sens-là, on cherchait à reconnaître cela. Donc, ça veut dire, nous voulons, dans nos expériences, quand on veut faire un positionnement, qu'on soit un peu conscient de ce lien-là et être là avec cette conscience-là. Donc, c'est un peu ça, si je pouvais rajouter par rapport à ça. Donc, la conscience totale, là, vraiment, vous avez raison, Duane a raison en disant que c'est l'infini. L'infini, on ne peut pas le conquérir dans sa totalité. Donc, on ne fait que des références. Mais par rapport au positionnement, par rapport au plan réel, c'est dans ce sens-là.
Ok, on peut passer.
Oui, on peut passer.
Ok, merci pour ce que tu as ajouté là pour combler. C'est bon, merci.